Hi everyone, I'm Paige Abbott and this is your weekly recovery message on the topic of trauma as enmeshment with the past. Many of you watching have experienced events or situations that you would describe as traumatic from your past. Some of you watching have not. Some of you watching who have experienced trauma from the past find there's consistent thinking, obsession, memories, flashbacks, feelings, and pain that come up with these traumatic incidents. Others of you who've experienced trauma won't experience that, maybe that frequently, or if really at all. So what makes the difference in these different groups? Well, one key factor is addiction. People who have addiction are more vulnerable to the trauma repeatedly coming up in terms of, as I said, dreams, flashbacks, and very strong, powerful feelings, sometimes almost to the point that the individual feels they're back in that situation which could have occurred decades ago. How come addiction is a factor in this? Well, addiction impacts the reward and memory circuitry of the brain. So these key circuits are tied to our experiences as well as our memories from the past. So addiction takes these memories, and because addiction is obsessive and it's the disease of more, it will enmesh and grab onto these memories and these incidents from the past and continuously bring them up and recycle them through thoughts, feelings, and memory. There are individuals out there who've experienced issues and trauma in the past who don't find they are as impacted by these events in the present. Some of these individuals still have addiction, others do not. And recovery makes a huge difference in how people experience trauma in the here and the now. I have seen many examples of clients who initially, before they've entered recovery, including abstinence from mood-altering substances, and they find they are plagued by memories, dreams, associations, flashbacks, almost to the point that this trauma is debilitating. Once entering recovery, developing a support network, abstaining, cultivating the relationship with spirituality, and just overall looking after themselves differently, including at the emotional level, what they start to find is that these ruminations and flashbacks and interference from the past starts to naturally fade, sometimes even without any direct intervention or involvement. So addiction and recovery play a huge role in trauma. I'm not saying that this is the extent of what trauma is all about, or that all trauma is just only about addiction, but there's a huge degree of vulnerability for individuals who have addiction to experiencing trauma, because the disease often will put people in more vulnerable and risky and unsafe situations, and B, then their experience of these traumatic situations moving forward. So the disease of addiction does foster this enmeshment with the past, if you want to think of trauma that way. So working with trauma really involves some degree of detachment and learning ways to ground yourself, be mindful and present in the here and the now, but also embracing recovery holistically, biopsychosocial, spiritually, can also help to create that distance and create that detachment. And it's important for those of you who have experienced trauma to remember that we can't regret the past or shut the door on it. So there may be times this comes up, but you will notice that as you move forward in your recovery journey, the intensity and the frequency of which these memories and feelings come up will shift. I wish you the best in your ongoing journey of recovery. Bye for now.